Lesson 56 is on subtracting mixed measures. So that's when we have things like yards and feet and inches, and we need to subtract some amount of yards, feet, and inches, or hours, minutes, and seconds. So let's look at this example problem. The flight that we have to take around the world with stops is scheduled for 2 days, 14 hours, and 15 minutes. We have already traveled 1 day, 3 hours, and 28 minutes. How much longer do we have to go? You want to line up your units when you subtract. So we're going to start with 2 days, 14 hours, and 15 minutes. And if you think about this as units, tens, and hundreds, and we just have to carry and move things around, it's just the same as any regular subtraction problem. So let me show you how that works. We're going to start with the smallest unit of measure. Just like when we subtract, we would start in the units or the ones column. So can we take 28 minutes from 15 minutes? We can't. What we have to do is come over here and borrow. If I take 1 hour away, I have 13 hours left. If I add an hour to our minutes column, how much am I adding? I'm not just going to put a 1 like we normally do because that's adding a 10. I have to add 60 minutes. So 60 minutes plus the 15 minutes that I already have makes the minutes 75. Now I can take 28 away from 75. And I get 47 minutes. Now I come to the hours. I have 13 hours and I need to subtract 3 hours. I can do that. So 13 minus 3 is 10 hours. And then 2 days minus 1 day is 1 day left. So what do we have left? 1 day, 10 hours, and 47 minutes. So when we borrow and move things over, remember what you're moving over and how much it's going to change into. If I'd had to borrow a day, I would have changed it into 24 hours. When I borrowed an hour, I changed it into 60 minutes. If I'd been doing minutes and seconds, 1 minute would have been 60 seconds. All right, here's another example. I have a long piece of fabric, and that fabric is 4 yards, 1 foot, and 2 inches long. The piece that I cut off is going to be 2 yards, 2 feet, and 10 inches. So what do I have left when I cut that off of my fabric? I'm starting over here. I cannot take 10 away from 2. So I'm going to have to come borrow one of these feet. Now I'm going to make it 0 feet. Feet to inches, that's 12 more inches plus the 2 that I already have. So that makes this 14 inches. Now I can take 10 inches away from 14 inches. That gives me 4. Here I want to take 2 feet away from 0 feet. I can't do that. So I need to come borrow 1 yard and make it 3 yards. And how many feet are in 1 yard? 3 feet. So this now becomes a 3. Now I can take 2 feet away from 3 feet, and I get 1 foot left. And last, I have 2 yards minus 3 yards, which leaves me with 1 yard. So when I subtract this, I get 1 yard, 1 foot, and 4 inches. You can do this with any mixed measure, days, hours, minutes, seconds, yards, feet, inches. Anything that you have to convert every time you borrow, remember what that is equivalent to in the other units.